Hey guys, welcome back for another weekly update. Thanks for joining me once again. I'm going to be honest, kind of thought we'd have more to talk about considering winter meetings just passed, but we still got a good chunk of things to talk about, but not really as much as I had hoped for. A lot didn't go on, not just with the Dodgers, a lot of teams. Everything kind of happened the last 24 hours. We saw some signings, we saw a couple trades, but on the Dodgers side of things, I was hoping for a little bit more, especially on the Harper side of things, but nothing's happened yet. We'll get into Harper in a little bit. But other than that, let's just jump into this. My new goal is to have these all under 15 minutes. So I'm going to do my best. I don't want to waste your guys' time. So let's get to it. Kind of right now on the trade block, I want to start with this stuff first. I think more people care about it than just the other random stuff. But the Dodgers have apparently openly admitted that they are trying to trade Matt Kemp. They're trying to trade an outfielder. However, Matt Kemp's name comes up because of his salary. I think he's making like 21 million next year, so it is a lot. I understand why they want to move him. It's going to be a heartbreaker, but it's the best decision for the team. So his name's come up, Puig's name has come up, Jock's name has come up, and of course, obviously, Verdugo being our number one prospect and being an outfielder. So all those names are kind of being thrown around right now. Bellinger's name has come up, but that was only in the Real Muto deal, and it kind of sounds like the Dodgers it's not going to happen. They're not going to throw in Bellinger. It seems like all the other teams are kind of on the same point that the Marlins are asking for kind of a lot. So nothing's happened there. The couple other names that have been brought up is Rich Hill and Alex Wood. Alex Wood, I think, is set to make $9 million next year, and I think Puig's at 11. I don't know what Rich Hill's at. To be honest with you, I should have looked. I forgot, but they're both being looked to move as well. It's to help with the overcrowdedness of starting pitching as well as money, salary, which makes a lot of people think if they're trying to cut salary, there's really one guy they're going after. So that one, I don't know too much about it. Nobody knows, but I think a lot of people are holding out on it. There's a lot of rumors about Ross Stripling as well. Possibly, there was one I saw that it had mentioned Francisco Cervelli from the Pirates, and that was if Real Muto doesn't work out. That seems to be the Dodgers' B plan. Seems to be a good catcher, could get the job done. It's really just a stopgap for Will Smith or Kyber Ruiz. Andrew Friedman said he thinks Will Smith will help the Dodgers win games in 2019, but he does believe it'll be at the end of the season. So who knows? Who knows when he'll come up. So for the time being, they do need someone. Friedman said he expects Barnes to have a big turnaround, but the fact that they're looking for a catcher kind of makes me feel like they're not putting too much hope into that and do want someone to be out there with Barnes and share the time for the time being. I know we talked about Kluber. It sounds like the talks are intensifying there. The Indians are interested in Verdugo, like I said, our number one prospect. This one for me is kind of hard only because I just feel like he gives us something we don't have right now, which is someone who's going to put up good contact at bats. I mean, of course, we'll have that with like Turner and Seager, but we don't know yet how Seager's coming back. I do have more information on him as well that will be coming up in a little bit. But I like the way Verdugo plays. However, don't get me wrong. If the goal is to get Bryce Harper, Verdugo's got to go. In my mind, it makes sense. There's just too many outfielders, and I think if they're getting rid of Verdugo, it kind of looks like they're making a future for Bryce Harper instead. Who knows? Maybe they keep both. But right now, the Indians seem most interested in Verdugo. Puig's name's going around a little bit too. But the Dodgers are also in talks with the Reds. I don't know if I think it's mostly just kind of a salary dump and for the Dodgers to get rid of some players. Alex Wood's being brought up there. Kemp's being brought up there, I think, as well as maybe Puig. And then the Dodgers return kind of sounds like it would be Homer Bailey. I don't know if there would be more to that. I haven't heard too much, but it sounds like more of a roster or a salary dump more than anything and to clear roster space for the Dodgers. So I'm not looking into the Homer Bailey side of things too much. I don't think they're going after him. Obviously, they wouldn't get him if he has no talent, but I think the main reason is the salary dump. So don't worry. I don't think this is like one of their acquisitions they're trying to make happen for anything more than the money. On another note, the Dodgers did sign Joe Kelly to a 3-year, $25 million deal. Most people know Joe Kelly is the St. Louis Cardinal who broke Hanley Ramirez's ribs. I've never been able to stand the guy since then. Obviously, as a Dodger fan, that stuff hurts when you look back at those playoffs, but he's on our team now. I obviously don't hate him anymore. I'm actually very, very happy with this. He shined like almost nobody else except for maybe Eovaldi when it came to the playoffs. When you really look at his numbers for the Red Sox, he struggled, though, during the entire regular season. I think he had around a 4 ERA, so some people are worried about that. Also, I apologize for the dog barking in the background. I'm constantly trying to work on finding a better place to do this stuff, so I apologize, guys. But he's got good stuff. I believe last year he averaged a 98.5 mile per hour fastball. So that's pretty good. It gives us some heat coming out along with Baez. I think he'd be a great setup man. And the Dodgers are known for pulling guys in and kind of just helping reshape their careers when it comes to pitchers, especially bullpen guys. Think of like Brandon Morrow. He could be our Brandon Morrow, which we couldn't have needed more this year. So I'm really happy with the signing. He's from Riverside, so he's close to home. Yeah, I know some people aren't. They don't understand why, but I'm going to put trust in Honeycutt and our pitching staff, and I think this was a good one. On the relief side of things, though, the Dodgers were expressing some interest in Robertson, who pitched for the Yankees, and Cody Allen, who came from the Indians, I believe. However, with the signing of Joe Kelly, I don't know if this is something they're still interested in. I heard about it a few days ago. I have not heard it since. So that's a good one to kind of keep an eye on, I guess. Cody Allen had a down year in 2018, but he's been pretty solid throughout his career, at least the few years before that I saw. So again, he could be someone that they work with. Who knows? But yeah, those are kind of the names that are getting brought up right now, outside of Harper, of course. DJ LeMahieu's name's still being thrown around, so it's all over the place. Everyone's name's thrown around come this time, and as a fan, it's like all you want is to know who's going to be on your team. It's so stressful as a fan, but I can't imagine what players and the front office feels. Much more work on them. They also had the Rule 5 draft while the Dodgers were in the last day of winter meetings. So I think that was Thursday they did the Rule 5 draft. I talked about this a couple videos ago. Like I said, I understand it myself, but I don't really want to explain this one because I don't think I understand it that well, and I don't want to give anyone the wrong information. So again, you can go to MLB.com. They have a glossary. Look it up. However, the Dodgers lost Connor Joe and Drew Jackson in the Rule 5 draft. They weren't added to the Dodgers 40-man roster, meaning another team could pick them up. Because the Dodgers 40-man roster was full, so they had to let them go based on how long they've been on the team with the Dodgers and when they signed. And how that works is Rule 5 draft picks must spend all of next season on the major league roster, or they're offered back to their previous team. So for some reason, they're not kept on the major league roster, which makes me think it's the 25-man roster. They can be offered back to the Dodgers. So I don't know how many of those actually work out. It's kind of a newer thing that I'm learning about. So, yeah, kind of interesting. It's kind of a bummer. They were pretty good prospects, I believe, but Dodgers farm system is so crowded. I guess they just didn't think there was much room for them here. So let's get into the good stuff. Bryce Harper. Buster Olney from ESPN says the Dodgers are still interested in Bryce Harper and apparently AJ Pollock. I don't know how much of that I believe. I hope they don't go after AJ Pollock. I think he's a great player when he's healthy. Seems like that's not very often, though. Would much rather go for the Bryce Harper side of things. So we'll kind of have to wait and see where that one goes when it comes with AJ Pollock. But JP Hoornstra, sorry if I messed that up. He's one of like the Dodger beat writers. You'll see him on Sportsnet LA. He's always working with the team. In his opinion, he doesn't believe the Dodgers would be dangling Puig as trade bait if they weren't serious on Harper. So it's kind of the back and forth thing of I guess for me, I'm wondering, is it if they can trade Puig or Verdugo, do they get Harper? Or if they get Harper, then it's a must. You have to trade those guys because of room. I don't know. But I kind of agree with this, that I don't think they would be trying to trade Puig if they weren't trying to make room for Bryce Harper. Only because Puig is making $11 million and he'll be a free agent next year. But he did have a decent year and he was pretty good in the playoffs. And to kind of give you an idea, I wanted to give you some numbers to compare the two, because there's a lot of talks going on between fans that are like, I don't want Harper, he's not that good. I do want Harper, he's that good. Is he really better than Puig when you look at the money? Yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. I did a poll on Twitter. It seemed to be around the 65-35 kind of percentage, that 60 plus percent wants Harper back, while the 30 plus don't. It seems like the percentage that don't want him back is because it means losing a certain player, but it also seems like they just don't want the money spent. They think it can be spent elsewhere, and I totally get both sides of it. That's why I'm glad I am just a fan when it comes to this stuff. So to give you an idea, Bryce Harper just turned 26, and he's been in the league for 7 years. He's just hitting his prime, which means everything we've seen from his MVP year to his struggle years, there's a very good possibility that he just gets better. Puig, on the other hand, has been in the league for 6 years and is 28 years old. So he's pretty much on the dot. Like, Harper just turned 26 last month, I believe, and Puig just turned 28 last week. So you've got almost 2 solid years of a guy who's entering his prime and a guy who's in his prime. And these are kind of how their stats line up. So Harper's played about 200 games more over his career. A lot of that, I think, has to do with Puig going up and down from the minors and the Dodgers. But Harper definitely has the power. Like I said, though, 200 more at bats. So he has 184 career home runs. He has 75 stolen bases to Puig's 60. Puig is at 108 home runs. Sorry about that. Bryce Harper's walk rate is 5% higher than Puig's, but I believe Puig's strikeout rate is 2% lower. So it's kind of like a back and forth. And funny enough, for those of you who care, they both have an average of 279, career batting average. On base percentage, Bryce Harper takes it by 30 points. Slugging percentage, Bryce Harper takes it by 30, 40 points. Weighted runs created, Harper takes it by 11. Look that stat up. It's a really interesting one. Not one I'm ready to explain yet either. A lot of these deeper stats I'm actually just learning, so I'm not comfortable really telling someone what they mean just yet. Bryce Harper has a career 900 OPS, which is 70 points higher than Puig. And a 900 OPS is pretty damn good. It means he gets on base a lot and he's got a high slugging percentage. So can't really argue with those things. Now, something that I thought I would find a big difference was splits. Bryce Harper's got about a 30-point split between, 30 points exactly, higher against right-handed pitching, where Puig is 40 points higher against right-handed pitching than he is left-handed. So their splits are almost pretty identical, which I found interesting. I kind of thought Bryce Harper hit lefties better, but apparently not. This one is actually a little bit interesting. Harper, when there's men on base, he's hitting 295. That was something we struggled a lot with. We struggled more so than anything with runners in scoring position, but with men on base, he's had a lot of home runs, a lot of that kind of good stuff. So, Puig is at 261 with men on base. So Harper does give you a 30-point average higher. Also, with runners in scoring position, though, it's not really all that different. Puig only is 11 points higher than Harper. Harper's at 276, where Puig's at 265. So the thing for me is I get where fans are coming from, because you're not seeing too much of a difference when it comes to Harper and Puig. A lot of their numbers are very, very identical. So I completely understand where fans are coming from, saying, I don't want to spend that kind of money. I'd rather keep Puig. He's our guy. We've had him for a long time. It makes a lot of sense. I get it. I'm going to go over the 15 minutes, so I apologize. I'm almost done. But this is where I kind of have a problem. Not a problem, but this is where my opinion changes on it a little bit. It's Bryce Harper. that's kind of where I'm at my standstill. He's just entering his prime. He was an MVP. He's possibly had the chance to be an MVP in 2017 until he had that freak injury. I understand the money that comes with him is so much, but I honestly think he brings all that money back with attendance, which I know the Dodgers don't necessarily struggle with at all. We lead the league, but however, we could have more fans there at times. Doesn't help that the prices are so much, but anyways, the jersey sales, merchandise, just everything. The guy's a star, and I just think he'd fit really well on this team. That doesn't mean I don't like Yasiel Puig. It doesn't mean I don't want Puig on the team. I just think that Bryce Harper brings something that not a lot of guys can bring to the sport or to a team. And so I'm on board with Bryce Harper. I want them to get him. I would love if they kept Puig. I don't know if it would happen. I would love to have an outfield of Bellinger, Puig, Harper, or Harper, Puig, Verdugo. But I just don't think we're going to be able to pull all of that off. So I would really like to hear what you guys think, where you're at on the Harper thing. If you agree with it, disagree with it, want him, don't want him coming. If he's asking for too much money, obviously $400 million is too much money. I don't think he's going to get that much. But I could see the Dodgers offering him like 6 to 8 years and just giving him an insane AAV, which is, the AAV is pretty much what he makes yearly. So annual average value, maybe. But anyways, it's what he would make yearly. I don't think Scott Boras is going to go for it, but we'll see. Depends on how badly Harper wants to play here and how badly we're worth pushing for him. But that's really all I have on him and Puig for the moment. I hope we hear stuff more soon. That way we can stop stressing out about it. But one question I do have, because I see a lot of people talk about it, I'm curious, since the Dodgers haven't officially retired Fernando Valenzuela's number, do you think Harper would wear his number, or do you think he would respect the tradition of the number? Because nobody's ever worn it since Fernando Valenzuela, if I remember correctly. So does Harper get a new number when he comes here? Does he respect that? Do the Dodgers tell him, no, we have plans to retire that number? I'm just curious what your guys' is. A lot of people say he could be he could be number 7 for the Dodgers. I'm very angry at myself that I'm blanking right now, but it was because of one of the players on the Yankees. It might have been Mickey Mantle. I don't know. I feel so dumb right now that I can't remember this. I'm totally blanking, but the reason why he picked 34 apparently is because 3 + 4 is 7. And so a lot of people will say he always knew that I think number 7's retired for the Yankees, and so he always knew that if he wanted, because the Yankees were his favorite team, that if he wanted to go 3 + 4 is 7. Anyways, I'm just rambling now. Like I said, I feel dumb. So go ahead and let me know in the comments who it is. I think it's Mickey Mantle, if I remember correctly, but could be totally wrong. So yeah, do you guys think he'll wear 34, or do you think the Dodgers won't let that happen, or that he'll just respect it if he comes to the team? Other news that's going on with the Dodgers, not that exciting, not that fun. Some of it's obviously really good news, but it's just not anything that's all that entertaining. But I just want to let you guys know about Andrew Friedman said he's not hiring someone to fill the Dodgers GM spot this offseason. They did mention that they may just have everyone kind of work a little bit extra at their positions and kind of all work together as one GM. However, he did hire an assistant GM. And his name's Jeff Kingston, and he came from Seattle. I believe he had that same position in Seattle, so he clearly knows what he's doing, and we'll see how he does with us. Another thing was, I was reading an article about Roberts. The idea for this year's lineup is they don't want to have to do as many platoons. They'd like to only have to do 1 or 2, not practically your entire lineup like they were doing outside of Machado and Turner. And yeah, that was really it. Everyone else was really getting platooned at the end of the season. Cody Bellinger was a big one. Roberts left him in a lot at the beginning of the season, most of the season, to let him go up against left-handed pitching to hopefully get his groove, but he couldn't. He struggled all year long. Was really rough to watch at the plate against left-handed pitching, which wasn't an issue his rookie year. So Robert's big goal is to have Bellinger fix that swing. He wants him as an everyday player. doesn't want him platooning anymore in 2019. He's been at the stadium, Bellinger that is, all week working with the new hitting coach. So I hope that stuff gets worked out. I hope they can figure that out. I would love the rookie Bellinger back, obviously. Just even better than that. I don't even care about the home runs. I miss those at bats, and I miss his consistency at the plate. He was a lot of fun to watch, so I do hope they get that figured out. Another big one, another big player name, which I'm actually very excited about. I cannot wait. My favorite player at the moment, Corey Seager. We finally got an update on him that he's been in LA this week. He finally switched gears from rehabbing to training. He's doing a throwing program, he's running, and he's also doing a little bit of hitting. So they think they'll have a better idea of where he's at come January, but for now he's at least getting started, which is great news. We needed that bat in our lineup so bad this year, especially come playoffs. So I cannot wait to have Corey Seager back, and I know I'm not the only one. Last thing of the day is a question. I just want to hear people's opinions. I don't necessarily have one. I'm on both sides of the fence here. I think you can make an argument for both. But a big thing I'm seeing right now is, does MLB ban the shift? Why should they ban the shift? Why shouldn't they ban the shift? Other sports make changes when it comes to positioning. Can MLB do that? Is it going to help more offense? Will it hurt more offense? Is it really even going to change anything? I've read a couple articles on it. I'm constantly going back and forth. So let me know in the comments, because I'm really curious as to what you guys have to say. I'd love to have a conversation about it. So that's it. That's all I've got for this week. As always, I appreciate you guys taking your time, listening, watching, whatever you may be doing. If you have any questions or anything you want me to talk about next week, you can let me know in the comments. I'm no expert. I'm a fan just like you guys, but I enjoy talking to people. So if there's anything you want to talk about or want to know about, just let me know, and I will give you my best opinion, because that's all I've got most of the time. I don't have any actual sources or anything. It's just my opinion on things. So let me know what you guys think. Also, what do you think about the thumbnail thing I did for the YouTube side of things? I'm curious as to what you guys think. If you thought that was more interesting, or just don't waste my time. So again, I appreciate it. And I'll catch y'all next week. Bye, guys.